What's up, everyone? Mike here. So, hanging out on the mushroom farm today, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little update of what I got going on. So, I've just picked up a big load of substrate right now. I just got some new wood pellets. I'm going to talk to you guys about the wood pellets a little bit. I've got some low-tech blocks in my grow room right now. I'm getting ready to really start putting some stuff in the grow room. Grow room's fairly empty compared to how I normally keep these things. Normally, I have them chock full all the time, but right now, just because I'm kind of testing things out, making sure things are dialed in, getting my substrate completely dialed in here on the new farm. And then after I get everything kind of set up there, we're going to totally send it, man, and do some big grows for you guys. But anyway, I've got some low-tech grows, so I'm just going to show you a few of my low-tech grows right here. I've been doing the aspen oyster. I've got some aspen oysters that are really popping off real good in there. And I've got some king oyster, like king trumpet, Pleurotus syringae, that have really been taken off. And these are all on unsupplemented blocks. I haven't been supplementing my blocks at all. They're just 5-pound sawdust blocks that I boiled water on the stove, and then I had 5 cups of wood pellets that I put into the bag, and then I just hydrated that with 5 cups of boiling water, and then I just let it cool in front of my flow hood. And then once it got to room temperature, I inoculated it with a 1-quart jar of grain spawn. All right, so that's kind of what I've been doing for these low-tech mushrooms, and they've been turning out super nice, as you can see. I just did a cooking video on the king oyster too. If you're unfamiliar with king oyster or king trumpet, check that one out. I'll be doing full low-tech growing videos talking about both mushrooms though, both the aspen oyster and that Pleurotus syringae, the king oyster. I also have some black pearl kings in there right now too. Okay, those things are they're finicky mushrooms. It's an interesting strain. I haven't grown a whole lot of the black pearl king. I had a grower though, another guy that's done a whole lot of them. He gave me some tips to trying to get around the finickiness and getting them to fruit consistently, kind of just with good timing and stuff like that. So I'm going to implement some of those methods here on the channel, and I'll let you know how the fruiting of the Black Pearl King goes, because the Black Pearl King is different than that Pleurotus syringae, the King Trumpet that I have been showing you guys. I really prefer the King Trumpet personally over the Black Pearl King, but it's just because I guess the style I grow and the way I'm used to growing it. Maybe after I get to using that Black Pearl King a little more regularly, maybe I'll begin to enjoy it more. But I've never really liked it. I've had that Black Pearl King strain for years now, and I've grown it off and on, and I've still never liked it as much compared to like regular oysters like blue, pink, gold, aspen, or my hericiums like my lion's mane, Coraltooth, bear's head, you know, all those. So anyway, we're going to play with that Black Pearl King a little bit, see what we can do with it. I want to show you guys these wood pellets, so they're pretty cool. They're actually aspen pellets. Now, as far as the wood pellets I picked up aspen wood pellets, all right? I've never used aspen before. I've always had like hardwood, I've had cedar, what else I guess have I had? Pine, there's been pine mixed in those. Because see, now, I'll tell you what, a lot of people wonder, hard wood pellets, soft wood pellets, what's the deal? Personally, I prefer softwood, and I'll tell you why too, compared to hardwood pellets and stuff like that. And I'll just say, for me personally, it's when you're hydrating the bags, and there's other reasons too. I have a myriad of reasons why I like using the softwood pellets over hardwood pellets when I have the choice. And number one though, I'd say when you're doing the production of the bags, and like I said, I'm gonna do a video here on this, I'll post it within the next few days, because I plan on loading my steamer literally just in the next few minutes here. And I'm going to do a full 1,000 pound load in there too. So we're going to do a big load in there. But when you're doing that many blocks, okay, all at one time, basically you have to, like, you add the pellets in the bag, and then you add the water in the bag, and then the pellets will puff up, okay? And in order to load your steamers or whatever vessel you're using, you have to kind of let those pellets puff up a lot of times, typically. Otherwise, you might have issues with it. And I'll tell you what, if you like fold the tops of the bags over and you start packing stuff super tight in your steamer or whatever before those pellets are totally puffed up, I've actually had bags break because the pellets will expand too much as it's doing the cook, and they weren't, like, it just doesn't work. I've had problems with it. So I always let my pellets like puff up completely, at least to the point where they're pretty much all the way, you know, they've got all the volume they're going to get for the most part. Then I'll fold the bag over, and then I'll load it in my steamer. And I'll show you guys all that stuff like that. But the softwood pellets tend to puff up a little bit faster and easier than the hardwood pellets. Like if you take hot water and you just put that in a bag of softwood pellets, and then you take hot water and you put that in a bag of hardwood pellets, the softwood pellet will hydrate faster and it'll beat it, okay? So then just that way I can load my steamer faster and everything is just more streamlined, okay? So that's one reason why I prefer using softwood pellets. And then certain species, I feel like even in incubation, it can be a little bit quicker. And I haven't like actually counted the days side by side, but I personally noticed I felt like even incubation was quicker. And the way I grow, I'll tell you guys too, a lot of times I do what's called one and done, where you get just like the one flush off the bag, and then I'll compost the bag, then the block. I don't get the second flush in the grow room, and it's because what I like to do is I like to rotate the blocks out. You'll see once I start doing full loads in here kind of what my schedule is. And I have two grow rooms like this. So I have two, they're 15 foot long and they're 6 foot wide. And but I have two of them set up like this. So we're gonna have, the one is for like week 1 and the other one is gonna be for like week 2. And when I'm in like full production in this building here, and I'll explain all that later on in further videos. But I feel like when I've just seen my softwood blocks compared to some hardwood blocks, I feel like even incubation beats it. I feel like when you get that first flush sometimes off a softwood block, since I go with the one and done method, I get that heavy yield a lot of times right on that first one, and then the block can get composted, and then I can get a fresh block in there right away, just so we maximize the real estate that I'm doing in my building here. But those are just a few benefits I see to using the softwood pellets. Okay, so now as far as the pellets that I just got and that I'm going to use in this next load here, these are aspen pellets, and so I didn't really have a choice or for hardwood or softwood pellets here this time. It was kind of like what I had available, and I'll just say the whole thing with like growing mushrooms, a lot of times it's best just to see what substrate do you have available in your local region, okay? And that's typically what you're going to end up using, all right? And there are better choices a lot of times than other ones, okay? So you got to take everything into account, and you're gonna have to see what's gonna work best on your farm. But for me personally, with my experience here that I've had in Colorado, and I just moved here recently, okay, remember I built this farm from the ground up, completely from scratch, but I got to spend some time hiking out here, okay? So 1 year I actually hiked the Colorado Trail, all right? And it's a 500-mile trail that goes from Denver to Durango, okay? So I hiked the whole thing one summer, and the mushrooms on there were crazy, okay? And it's really neat. When you're in a mountainous region, you can see through the different levels of terrain and elevation how different types of mushrooms will grow, because different mushrooms grow at different elevations. It's really cool, okay? Because like me, being a flatlander previously, coming from the Midwest, we didn't really have that. We would have mushrooms growing in different environments, basically based on like what type of substrate it was, okay? Like maybe if it was a wood decomposer, or if it grew out of the soil or something, or maybe a mycorrhizal mushroom, But here in Colorado, there's different trees at different points of elevation, and there's different mushrooms at different points of elevation. So for example, like aspens, the aspen trees, they're gonna be in your more lower elevation areas, and the higher you go up, you get into more conifers, okay? Like evergreens and blue spruce and stuff like that, okay? Well, anyway, what I noticed when I was hiking, oysters would tear these aspen trees up. Like, so oysters love aspen wood. I know that, and I personally haven't had the chance to find any hericiums here yet in Colorado, but I've seen people online post up pictures of finding hericiums on aspens, okay? So I know pretty much all the mushrooms I grow, for the most part, will work absolutely fine on the aspen pellet. The one thing I'm actually kind of unsure of, and it'll be kind of a test, is maitake. So that'd be kind of cool. I'll have to see how maitake performs on it. I do think it will be okay, but I'll have to find out, myself. But I was kind of limited to using the aspen just because that's what I had in the local area, but I knew that would work with the types of mushrooms I grow on my farm. So you got to take all that stuff into account. Obviously, if it wouldn't have worked with the type of mushrooms I was going to grow on my farm, I would have had to source something else. And there's other people that you can source substrates from a lot of times, maybe online, or you can figure something out. Sometimes in some other countries, maybe you can't, you know what I mean? But I will say here in the US, we are fortunate that we kind of have the ability to source whatever we can through shipping methods a lot of times. All right, guys. Well, that was kind of just a little update I wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to share with you some more of those low-tech blocks and tell you what's up with that. I'm going to do some more in-depth videos specifically on some of that low-tech growing, just so you guys can see that and really see exactly how I'm doing it. But just 5 cups of boiling water to 5 cups of pellet is kind of my method right now. We're about to do our first load of Masters Mix, so I'm about to cook 1,000 pounds of Masters Mix, and we'll have a video on that this upcoming week, and I'll let you guys know how that went and everything like that. But anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful and informative. If you did, please drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But that's all I got for you on this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.